Hello, everyone. Thanks for listening to Wake Up, Look Up, a podcast where we connect events happening in real time to the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm Zach Wyrock. And today's episode, we're asking the question, is your mind full? And this comes from a Wall Street Journal article called Why All In is No Recipe for Success. I found the title interesting and the substance of the article even more so, because the article was about something called hyperfocus, which is the kind of single-mindedness you get when you're chasing one big goal, when you're building your life around one thing that you're convinced if you can accomplish or you can obtain will make your life meaningful. So this could be anything from running a marathon to achieving at work to getting married, having children, etc., etc. We're different people with different kinds of interests, but oftentimes we do gravitate towards hyperfocus. Another good test of hyperfocus is that what's the one thing in your life through which you evaluate everything else? So if you're running a marathon, things that help you get there become good. Things that don't help you get there become bad. Not because they're intrinsically good or bad, but just because all you really want is that one thing. And we think of hyperfocus as the price we have to pay to achieve. That's kind of what movies or books or kind of our own minds tell us, that, hey, if you want to do anything great, you have to be hyper-focused. But increasingly, research is telling us that's actually not true. In fact, hyperfocus can lead to burnout, which is when you begin to hate the thing that you once thought would make you happy. It increases your fear of failure, because after all, if you've spent a great deal of time aiming at one thing and you don't get there, what does that mean? And actually, it weakens us. It actually makes us less focused and more tired, which actually can diminish our performance. What studies are beginning to show is that Nobel Prize winners, professional athletes, entrepreneurs, overwhelmingly, their lives are actually more well-rounded than we think. They are driven and focused people, but they tend to diversify that focus across multiple pursuits, not just one thing. Now, the reason why I say this is because, yet again, research is showing us something the Bible has been saying for a while. Consider that in the Old Testament, God is leading Israel out of Egypt into the Promised Land, where they are going to establish a country. They are going to have to domesticate a land, to fend off enemies. They have a lot of work to do. But from the very beginning, God builds in a system where every Sabbath day, they're going to rest. That's because God is systematizing the idea that they're not just workers. They are also worshipers. They're also human beings who need to rest. He's building into the system a diversification of focus. Jesus lived this way. You know, Jesus only had 3 years of public ministry, which is not a lot of time to do all the things that Jesus had to do. And yet, when you read the Gospels, like passages like Mark 6, for example, you'll see that he regularly took time to rest and recharge, to diversify his focus. Ecclesiastes tells us this. Ecclesiastes 3 says there's a season for this and a season for that. It's telling us that life just doesn't sync up with single-mindedness. Different seasons call for different speeds and different emotions. But here's the real thing. Hyperfocus tends to stem from idolatry. It tends to come from this idea that if I want to be happy, if I want to have meaning and purpose, I have to have this one thing. So when Jesus in Matthew 11 tells us that he came to lead us to rest, what he's telling us is that he came to set us free from the gods that enslave us. It's not that Jesus doesn't want you to run a marathon or achieve at work or be married or whatever it is you're dreaming about. It's that he came to remind you, to show you, to teach you that even if you never have those things, your life has meaning and purpose eternally. Your place in the kingdom of God is not based on any of those things. Listen, are you tired? I know you might be telling yourself, I actually just need to keep pushing to achieve. Listen, if that's how you feel, we are the same person. I understand that. But what research and the Bible are telling you is not just that one thing can ruin you, but that actually to be your best in pursuit of that one thing, you need to think about other things. Stop laying aside the other things God has called you to in pursuit of that one thing. Diversify your focus. And as a result, you'll be happier, less anxious, and actually more able to perform. And parents, by the way, let's make sure we're raising kids who intrinsically get this. I know you believe your son's going to be the next shortstop for the Cleveland Guardians, but maybe take 3 months off of baseball. Let him do something else. Teach him life is more than whatever it is that we're chasing. Let's chase dreams. Let's be people who aim big. Let's be people of ambition, but let's also be people of rest. Hey, thanks so much for watching this episode of Wake Up, Look Up. While you're here, take a minute to like and subscribe. It really helps us get the word out. Don't hesitate to leave a review wherever you might find this podcast on an audio level and help spread the word. And hey, while you're here, check out all the other content we have at Christ Community Chapel on YouTube. Some of those videos are popping up on the screen now. Click on one.